Uber here, and I am with Dogman from the Atlanta Reign. Dogman, what's going on, bro?
Going on, Mitch? How you doing, man? I'm doing good.
You guys didn't get a homestand before quarantine sort of kicked in, but you did have one last season. So you kind of got a bit of a taste of it, right? You guys missing that? I mean, like, I guess what kind of place did like a homestand have in your heart, and how you guys feeling about sort of not being able to do that right now?
Yeah, it definitely sucks. I mean, last year having our homestand was pretty memorable. I mean, I've heard that it's probably the best homestand last year even. I mean, Dallas Fuels definitely rivals it. But just not having a homestand definitely, and not having a crowd just being able to cheer for you and give you a lot of positive energy, you're definitely missing out on a lot by not having that.
As long as you're the one that's kicking the Phoenix head into the crowd next time, bro. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
that's the
that was
time-honored
nuts.
tradition of homestand.
That was nuts, man. Just with the explosions, he just kicked it off. He killed the Phoenix, man. The Phoenix.
Oh, that's your mascot, bro. You know what I mean? Like you killed the mascot, man.
All that hard work just went to the crowd, man.
You I mean, especially last season, right? You were a bit of a heel, I think it's safe to say. Are you sad that you don't have a crowd to interact with now, that you can actually, start that trash talk and sort of continue being a bit of a heel like you were?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely missing out on a lot and not having somebody to react to it. During the games, I would just shout like, "Bruises of theater!" But it was fun last year for sure. I mean, we're definitely missing out on a lot of that this year. But I'm used to being the heel, I guess, for sure. Like generally with most things in my life, whenever we're streaming or whatever, it's just kind of by nature, it's what I do. So
what do you reckon about this tournament format we have now? Because that's a big change. Like, we haven't had something like this, I guess, since before the Overwatch League was incepted. I mean, do you like it? Do you want to see changes in the future? More of it? Less of it? What do you reckon?
I think it's cool. I think it adds to the competitive level of Overwatch League. I mean, because while you're playing out the regular season, and it does matter for sure long term, especially matters long term, but teams, for example, like Boston Uprising, they might have a really tough shot now because of having a really bad start. So this kind of gives them something to look forward to, and they could participate and play very well. They could be super motivated and actually show a lot of teams up. They're not that bad of a team now. I mean, they're starting to get their groove, and I think a lot of teams that play better without hero pools will also have a good chance to make some cash and win the tournament. I mean, getting any sort of prize money is really cool in general. So like, sure, we have salary and we have the end of the year finals and stuff like that, the playoffs, the real meat and potatoes of like the Overwatch League. But it's nobody doesn't like having a little bit of extra cash.
I feel that. I mean, I know from where I sit, I just like there being stakes, like the games sort of mean more because there's like a culmination or whatever.
Stakes, meat,
let's
potatoes,
yeah, that's right. Steaks, meat, potatoes. Damn, I'm hungry now, dog man. What are you doing to me?
Sorry, man.
Hero pools are a big mix-up, right? I remember like there were so many people when they first came in were like, this is going to be good, this is going to be bad. Obviously, they've affected you teams, whether players, coaches, staff, all that stuff. They've affected a lot of you. Has it affected your weekly routine or the practice routine?
Yeah. Hero pools have definitely affected like our practice time and how much we commit to each week. For example, when you're playing a certain like patch for a certain amount of time, you'd pretty much have those couple of months or whatever, to get good at a certain composition in a meta per se. And now people kind of figure out the meta by the end of the week. So there's a bunch of time jam-packed in trying to figure out the meta, and then also trying to get good at the same time. So you're trying to get good and trying to figure out the meta at the same time. Whereas out hero pools, you can perfect, you can get better, and then progressively improve as a team on the entire hero pool and selection.
So it's almost like we've gone from hero pools that last for 2 months, because eventually you get a meta out of those 2 months of the patch, right? And you don't play too much else, to hero pools every week, right? So it's the same concept, just the time is way less. But you talk about like one aspect is like getting good at the game. The other aspect is obviously, learning how to use those compositions effectively. Has hero pools like hurt your guys' game, or has it helped it out? Do you feel like you have the depth to sort of cope with that, or is it like a whole bunch of new challenges that come along?
I think we're slowly figuring it out, but at the beginning of the season, it's taken us definitely a little bit of time to adapt and to get better at hero pools in general, for sure.
So it definitely feels like there is a degree of like getting lucky with the hero pool, right? One that like matches, it doesn't guarantee success, but having a hero pool that matches up with like your individual strengths more is like a huge head start in that week, you would say.
Yeah, exactly, for sure. Yeah, it's a huge benefit to be playing the heroes you're comfortable on, for sure.
Gotcha. All right, let's go a bit more general for a second. Who's the best flex support in the league?
I mean, a lot of them are very good. I think flex support's definitely the most stacked role in the entire league. Just to start off, like everybody's good. I mean, you have Violet, you have Twilight, you have Yumbung's really good, Alarm, Fielder. There's just a lot of very good flex support players. Not many from NA, by the way. Just me and Raucus.
You heard it here first.
The best, I don't know. The best would probably be it's either Alarm or Violet, between those two for sure.
Okay, so we talked about like what your favorite moments are in the league. What do you reckon about like people? Is there anyone that you really look up to in the league, like on your team or another team, like standout players or a standout moment that like really impressed you watching it? Like anything that you're trying to sort of live up to and emulate? I know you're not going to idolize other teams or other players, right? But surely there's like things that sort of spur you on to improve.
There's like probably two people that mainly I guess I look up to in somewhat. I'd say Baby Bay is a pretty like good motivator and somebody that I look up to for work ethic and for improving myself and stuff like that, because he's always been honest and very outspoken, at least for our team, and a very good leader. So him, and then just in general for like a comeback story this year, at least I'd say Carpe. Just because like last year, everybody's like, oh, Carpe's overrated and he didn't have a good season. He had an off season. And then this season, he's like pretty much proven himself to be like MVP candidate. So I'd say he's had a pretty good career so far. And he's been a very inspirational person.
Well, it turns out that getting to play the hero you were assigned to play actually increases your stock in everyone's eyes. That seems kind of fun.
I mean, Zarya is a DPS, though. Zarya was a DPS to some degree.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you just never looked that pleased playing it. I mean, I guess I don't know. It was probably an issue for some DPS players who had to make that move. But
oh yeah,
obviously, bro, you're not playing sort of to live audiences right now, and you're not really traveling with your team. Are you still able to sort of stay close to your teammates? Is there anyone on your team that you sort of tend to gravitate more towards and spend more time with? Time whether it's in person or otherwise.
I usually hang out with like Gator or Masa. Some of our teammates, we play video games together and stuff like that. We kind of hang out as a group for the most part. Yeah, I don't know. I don't gravitate towards anybody specifically. We're a very tight knit team anyway, like sort of like a family for sure.
What about the fans? How are you? Like, has the way that you've interacted with fans changed much now that obviously there's less chances for you to be on camera in the broadcast, like kind of being yourself?
Yeah, I mean, like going to homestands last year and having those meet and greets were very fun. I was actually disappointed that I didn't get to do it the Houston Outlaws one. I don't think I did the meet and greet there. But this year has been like, I don't know, I've done Q&As and stuff like that on Instagram and stuff like that. It's been kind of similar, I guess. Just less personal face-to-face interaction.
I mean, your journey as a player is kind of unique, I guess, and sort of where you started and sort of and where you ended up in terms of like what you were aiming for, right? What is it about Overwatch that keeps you going, or what is it that keeps you motivated to grind? I'm sure it's not always easy, right, with how much you guys are playing, especially right now, but if you could sort of like distill the essence of why you're a passionate competitor in Overwatch after these years, what would it be?
Probably just people either doubting me or thinking that other people are just better. So because I mean, like, there's a lot of very good Korean flex supports in the Overwatch League, and generally I want to be known as better than them. So that's kind of the big thing. Like, everyone's like, they always talk about how really good Violet or Twilight is or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I need to prove that. I need to prove that I'm better than these players and that I am the best at my role. So it's just that progressive motivation from just knowing that other people think that other people are better than me.
I was thinking about this sort of while we've been talking and sort of before that. You said that, your desire to talk trash and sort of, be, slightly polarizing, it comes from just your sort of nature. But do you kind of feel like you almost prefer some adversity, or like maybe a part of you is creating a little bit of adversity to fuel you? Because like you just said, like you kind of like being underrated, or you're really motivated to prove yourself when people don't think you're as good as X, Y, or Z player. Do you like create that environment for yourself on purpose, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. That's what I've been working on. I mean, When you, like, what is it? There's like, I mean, you've probably everybody's seen it at this point, the documentary about Michael Jordan, where he was talking about how, you know, he creates, even off the slightest thing, creates some sort of spark to give him a reason to win. And definitely for at least when I was on the come up, I needed that to get better. And then it's kind of been like something that you have to re-spark and light the flint again or whatever, and to get that motivation going. Yeah. So yeah, it's just to create something's always been, or to create some sort of, determination factor, some sort of underdog story in my own head has definitely helped me get better for sure.
One more question for you, man. Again, it's about your journey. If you could look back, right, over the point where, you went from maybe sort of struggling to get noticed and be recognized and start getting into some of these teams and being regarded as a top player, can you sort of identify any moment or any change in yourself that, actually started to put you on that trajectory? When these good things started coming in, can you relate it back to like a moment of sort of changing a mindset or direction at all?
I kind of knew I had it from the start. I don't know. That sounds a little, no, like,
it's good. I say that all the time about casting, bro. It's the same thing. Like if you feel like you have the talent, then go.
Yeah, if you know you could do it, if you put in the work, if you actually put in the work, you don't just say you do, and then you can legitimately see it in yourself that you're legitimately good. Then that's it. Because I pretty much right out of high school, I was like, I want to go professional in esport. And then Overwatch came out, and I was like, okay, this is the one I'm gonna go professional in. I'm gonna put my time into it. And then a couple of months in, I'm like, okay, I can actually do this. And then I kept working at it, kept putting in, a lot of hours and playing the game, and eventually I got good enough. And yeah, that's kind of that definitely is that's like the motivation that I call back on, just like that back in the day, like, that grind mentality, that I try to tap into pretty often for sure.
There's a pinch of talent and a truckload of hard work. Dogman, thank you so much for joining me, bro, and best of luck in your upcoming matches. I hope to see you flying high.
Thanks, Mitch. Appreciate it, man.